Hello, guess who and guess what? Well, the guess who is me, Robbie Susan Chandler, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Quincy, Florida, right outside Tallahassee, Florida. I actually hold classes in my home, and if you live in the area, I would love for you to attend. Just let me know when you'd like to come. I hold my classes every 2 weeks on Sunday, Mondays, and Thursdays, and a Thursday evening class. The Sunday, Monday, and Thursday also have a noon class. So like I said, if you're in the area, just pop on over. But let's see what the what is today. Today I'm sharing this cute card with you from the Notes and Totes bundle. I think this is the cutest card. Now a lot of cards that I saw online that were done with this set, they're made on beach bags, and I decided just to make mine an everyday bag that you would carry around whenever you're shopping or running errands. And the inside I made a happy birthday. And this stamp is from, I stamped it in Misty Moonlight, and it's from the Paper Tags stamp set. It's this one right here. And I've been making most of my cards' birthdays lately because I donate them to the church, because the church sends them out to our church members. So let's look at this card and how we made it. It's really pretty simple. Okay, so let's start with our base, and it's the thick basic white 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 1 1/4. Now I recommend that you use the thick white because it makes a much nicer card. It holds up better. The regular white is kind of flimsy, so you really would like to, it's really better if you use the thick white. So this is our card base, and our next layer is this piece from the Country Woods Designer Series paper. This is what the other side looks like, so it's kind of hard to decide, but I went with this side, and it's 4 by 5 1/4. And we just adhere it to the front, and I've already done that here. Now the little hearts that you see inside were leftovers from when I cut for the Notes and Totes, so I'll show you where those came from. Alright, so here's our card base. Now here are all the pieces that we're going to cut from the Notes and Totes. Here's our bag, and it's cut with this piece. The fence, not fence, well it is a fence, but I made it a table at the bottom of my card. It's actually a fence in the set. Well, let me move this apart and you can see where it's put together as a fence there. The die cuts the 3 pieces here, but it also cuts the longer one that you can use for the fence railing. So here's our fence pieces, and I've already put them on my card front with dimensionals. So here's one piece of our bag, and then we have these 2, here are all the black pieces. And we have 2 long strips, and I've got those right here. And then we have this bottom strip that's going to go across here. And I've already done that on this one to show you. But there's one step that you have to do before that. Right here is a little tab, and I just cut that tab off because we don't really need it. We're going to be folding this up. Now if you were going to make this a stand-up little bag like this, then you would need that at the bottom to connect the other side. But I'm just putting this on the front of my card, so I don't really need that. So that's the black pieces. And then we have the little scarf, which I cut that out of red. There's the die for that. And then we have the handles. To me, the handles look like headsets. Couldn't you use those for headsets? Look at that. And I cut 2 of them. Actually, I have 3 here. I cut 2 of them out of this because a bag would have 2 handles. And then down here at the bottom, you see the little sunglasses. I cut, this is the die for them, so you get the solid and the outline. So I cut the solid out of the silver. I made my sunglasses silver. And then the outline, I cut out of the red. Now to have something to glue the outline to, you also kind of had to cut this red piece here. So this was an extra and we didn't really use that. But this is where the 2 red hearts came from. When you cut this out, these 2 little red hearts come out of the middle. And that's where these came from that I put in there. It's like, let's don't throw anything away. Now some people took this and glued it inside like that, and then some people put it on their envelope. Alright, so that's all of our pieces. Let's see how we put them together. Alright, so like I said, we have the this is the base of our bag. We cut this off. We're going to fold these up, And then there's also little score lines right here. And those are the ones that you're going to adhere these little black strips to. So I just cut those down. Oh, and by the way, this paper, you're probably wondering where that came from. It's from this pack, and it's called Mixed Media Florals. And it has a lot of other cool, as you can see from here, beautiful papers in it, but I decided to use the black and white one for my bag. So that's where that came from. All right, so we have our little stripes on. So there was our basic, our stripes, and then we added this to the bottom. All right, once we do that, then I put my handles on. And you want to offset them a little bit so you can see both handles. If you put one behind the other, you can't tell that there's two handles there. And let's just go ahead and pop our little scarf on here. I just put it right here around the handle. And you might want to put some dimensionals down on the lower part too to hold those down. Now to put this on my card front, I put my dimensionals so they were half under the flap and half showing. And that way it held the flaps down while also it would stick down to my card base. Now I didn't pull my backing off these yet because I wanted to show you what you could do with this. So I'm going to put this down and I'm just going to sit it on my table and see, let's hold that down. Now if you don't want to put dimensionals here at the top, this would be open and you could slip a little note in there, or you could slip a little gift card or a little treat, and that way you've got the little bag for that. Let's put our glasses on here. That's all we've got left is the glasses. Alright, let's just pop them down here. We're going to lay them on the table so we remember where our glasses are. So there's our card. Isn't that cute? Got a little bag. You can make a little treat bag. And here's our sentiment. So I hope you like this card. Please subscribe, share, and like my video. If you need a demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. If you would like to become a team member, I'd love to be your team member. Now there's links below to all the supplies I used, and there's also a link for a free tutorial with all the measurements and written instructions. So until next time, happy camping. Happy camping. Let me do that again. How about happy crafting? Happy crafting. See you next time. Bye.